So to top our Mosquito Navigators SS Barracks Raid DFC group, we have this little number here. We're really honoured to be handling this at the moment. We're honoured to be able to offer it for sale alongside Gates's DFC group together, so two Mosquito men. But here we have a pilot, and here we have an even more famous raid. It's the Amiens prison break. It's known subsequently as Operation Jericho, and it's one of the most famous raids of World War II for many, many different reasons. Obviously, it made the news at the time, just about everywhere. It was an incredible achievement to get in at 10 feet and actually to bomb holes into the walls that you see there. This is Maxwell Sparks. Now, Maxwell Sparks is a New Zealander born and bred in Auckland. He's flying with 487 Squadron, New Zealand Squadron, in a Mosquito, and he is one of the first men to drop his bombs at the prison. He's in his logbook. He says that he's the third in the first wave. Now, there weren't too many, obviously, that got out there, so it makes him one of 10 pilots to actually drop over the prison and attack it. Now, he's just written in on the famous date, which is the 18th of February 1944. Low-level daylight operation, attack on prison at Amiens. Walls breached. Later gen proves that operation 100% success. And he's put here, obviously, his aircraft was a write-off afterwards. So there's so much about this raid. There's so much mystique around this raid. There's a book by Dusselier who questions the motives, or the higher motives, around the raid. But the precision and what it proved, obviously, to the Germans, that we could go in and even rescue people that they'd incarcerated. And there were resistance men in there, political prisoners, and a large number escaped, which is 250. But 100 die, obviously, in breaching the walls. They breached some of the prison walls as well in the second wave, and people were killed, people who obviously were allies to us. Now, you know, Dusselier's book concentrates on the importance of this raid in a context within Operation Overlord, which obviously took place in June 44, to suggest to the Germans that we were doing something in the Pas-de-Calais region that needed resistance men and women, and needed resistance intelligence and SOE involvement. So he thinks this is sort of play fake for that in a bit, you know, in a small way. But obviously, you know, the French perspective is 100 died in that raid. So there's all sorts of questions around the wider context. But what Maxwell does on that day is he actually provides a very famous photograph. Actually written here, Sparks's famous photograph, which is the very instant the first bombs are going off on the wall, which is still there today and has been filled in, this enormous breach. Dusselier credits it with, credits Sparks with this, or indeed certainly the documentary with Martin Shaw credits him with this particular breach, which is now filled in. So there's a tremendous documentary which uses a lot of Maxwell Sparks's first-hand information, because he is the last remaining survivor, Mosquito pilot, last Mosquito man remaining alive. So in 2011 he's interviewed extensively, forms a large part of that documentary, Operation Jericho, which is well worth checking out. So a tremendous archive, great medal group with Air Force Cross and later Queen's Commendation for Gallantry, MID, helicopter pilot rescues, everything. Incredible stuff with 3 photo albums, loads more material which we can't display here but will be on our website. All of the early stuff with 487 New Zealand Squadron. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to put alongside the 613 Squadron Navigator. But wow, it's an important piece of history, a one-off piece of history. As I mentioned, one of 10 pilots to take part in that raid to actually attack the prison. The third wave was turned away, and sadly some a casualty was taken on board before dropping their bombs. So you're never going to really see it again. There weren't gallantry awards for the particular raid. So just to be able to tie it all in, it's a famous figure speaking about a famous raid, and it's just the sort of thing that we've always it's just meant so much to us to actually handle these. So we're proud and honoured to be doing that.